Hi guys, my name is Vivek and in this video series we are going to talk about materialized views in Oracle. As I've done in my previous video series, I'm going to explain this with real practical project examples. At the same time, I will try to keep it as simple as possible. Before we go ahead, I have a small request for you guys. If you have not subscribed to my channel already, please pause this video and subscribe so that you get a notification as soon as I upload a new video. Now let's go ahead and start what we are going to learn today in this video. So the first thing that we are going to discuss, what are materialized views? Then we are going to understand their basic difference with views. Then we are going to learn that why exactly we need to create materialized views, why we cannot rely just on physical tables. Then we will build on that to understand the advantages of materialized views. So let's go ahead and get started and understand what are materialized views. So materialized views are DB objects that holds the output of a query on storage disk. If you have watched my previous videos on views, you will know that views are just metadata and they don't physically store the output of the query, which means every time you execute a DML statement on a view, it's going to run the original underlying query in view definition. Now what I'm claiming is that materialized views are different in a way that as soon as you create a materialized view, it will store the output of that particular query on the physical storage disk the way it stores a table, and next time when you run a query on the materialized view, it's not going to rerun the entire query. Rather, it's going to process the output from the storage location where it has stored the data pertaining to that particular query. Now let's go ahead and prove this claim and understand this in layman languages. So I have created my materialized view mv_demo from this particular query, which actually gives me the revenue generated by each product which is being sold by different employees. Now I am claiming that as soon as I create this particular view, the output of this particular query is being stored at a physical location on my database the way it stored tables. So if I have to explain the basic difference between the view and a materialized view, if I create a view on the same query, next time when I try to execute a DML statement on my view, it will go ahead and again retrieve the data from the database. It will go ahead and rerun that particular query, which is not the case with materialized view. When I go ahead and query my materialized view, instead of running the entire SQL again, it will go ahead and retrieve the data from my storage location where it had already stored the records when we created the materialized view. And I'm going to prove this in SQL Developer in a moment, but before that let's just quickly see the definition of my basic view and my materialized view. So I'm creating a materialized view mv_demo that I've already shown, and I'm creating a basic view as well here on the same query. So let's go to SQL Developer and prove our claim that materialized view when executed actually stores the data on disk, while view_demo, which is my basic view, it does not store the data, it's just a metadata, and every time I will query this particular view, it's going to rerun this SQL again. So here I'm going to create my view, and I'm claiming every time I execute a DML statement on my view view_demo, it's going to rerun this particular query again. Now let me go ahead and create my materialized view mv_demo. What I am claiming here is that once I have created this particular view, the output of this particular query has been stored on my physical disk, and next time when I try to query this particular materialized view mv_demo, instead of running this original query again, it's going to retrieve the data from disk from that particular location where it just stored the data. So let's just quickly see the data again. So I have the data in both the views. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the records from my product table so that the output of this particular query will not give me any results. So what just happened? My join between my transaction table and product table broke since there are no records in my product table and it's not retrieving any records now. So if I try to access my basic view as per my claim, it's going to rerun the query, and if that's the case, it should not return any row. Let's verify that real quick. So I ran this particular view again and it did not return even a single row. Also claimed that when I try to access my materialized view, instead of running this query again, it's going to access the data from the storage location, and since only the data from the table has been deleted, I should still have data in my materialized view and I should see some results when I run this particular query. That's the claim I have made and I'm going to validate that now. So if you see, I still have that data persisted because instead of rerunning that particular query again, it actually went to the location where it physically stored the data on the disk and it retrieved the data from there. Now there is a challenge. I have deleted the data from my products table, still my materialized view is giving me results, which ideally is not a good case. Because here I'm getting false impression that these products are generating huge revenue for me while these products don't even exist on my shelf. That means intermittently I have to refresh my materialized view to make sure that it gives me the correct actual snapshot. And what should be that period? Should I refresh my materialized view as soon as my source table has changed? Should I do a periodic refresh? We will understand that kind of stuff in a later tutorial. So if we have to rephrase this, when you are talking about a basic view, every time you execute a DML statement on it, it's going to rerun the underlying original query. While in case of materialized view, as soon as you create the view, it's going to allocate a storage space on disk where it's going to store the output of that particular query. And next time when you issue a select or a DML statement, instead of going and rerunning the original query, it's going to retrieve the data from this particular storage location. So I hope the difference between view and materialized view is clear now. Let's go back to our presentation and understand why we actually have the need to create the materialized view. Why can't I just create a physical table instead of materialized view? So let's understand why exactly we need materialized view and why we don't go ahead and create a physical table that stores the same data. The first reason is that in order to populate that data in the physical table, we will have to create and maintain a process which will populate this data on a regular basis. And if we have to do that, obviously we have to assign a dedicated resource toward it who will go ahead and develop the process, and then a tester will test the process, which obviously is a costly affair. But the second reason behind this is that if we create it manually, there is a possibility that we may leave some loopholes or leaks because of which our data gets corrupted. But these two are not the main reasons why we create materialized view instead of physical table. The main reason is performance improvement using query rewrite. And what exactly is this? Let's understand that now. So guys, I am going to explain this query rewrite again in a future tutorial. I'm just giving you a high level glimpses of it. So I am the warehouse manager of a retail organization and I have a summary table that has billions of rows, and on the basis of that data, in order to make logical conclusions and decisions, I'm generating over thousands of reports for my user, and they want to see the data on three basic levels. They want to see the data on product level, they want to see the data on employee level, and they want to see the data on location level. Now what exactly I mean when I say that they want to see the data on these three levels? Let's understand that with our real summary table. So this table has billions of rows and it has a column, surrogate key column ID, then it has the details of the products, that are being sold, the employee who sold the product, the location at which the product was sold, the amount of revenue that was generated from that particular sale, and the date on which that sale happened. Now one of my user wants to see the revenue generated by each product on a daily basis. So his report will look something like this. He wants to see the amount of revenue that was generated by product 1 on 10th January, product 2 on 10th January, and so on for all the products. And then we will have data for the next day. So I have another user who wants to see the data on a higher grain. He wants to see the amount of revenue generated by different products in different quarters. So the amount of revenue generated by my product 1 in quarter 1 is $1 lakh. By my product 2 in quarter 1 is $1,93,000. So if you see in quarter 2, I can clearly glean that the sale of these two products has increased considerably. So he wants to see that kind of data. Then I have another user who wants to see similar data, but instead of seeing quarterly reports, he wants to see yearly reports. So I have another user who is more focused on employee data. He actually takes care of the appraisal and the firing department. So in order to give employee of the month, he wants to identify the employee who has made the most sale in this particular month. Then in order to give appraisal, he wants to identify the employees, those who have been consistent and have made the most sale in the entire year. And if he has to fire 10% of the employees, he wants to see the employees who have done minimum sale throughout the year, that kind of stuff. So he wants to see the data from that perspective. Then we have another set of user who wants to see the data from location perspective. Now the challenge I have is that I have huge amount of data and I have thousands of already designed reports. What exactly I should do in order to improve my performance and optimize the process? And the answer to that with minimal change of code is materialized view. And how it will do that? It will leverage a feature called query rewrite, and we will understand that how. So I have my summary table that has billions of rows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 materialized view. The first one will be on employee. It will have aggregated values of the sales that are being done by employee on every day. Then I will create another materialized view, but this time the grain will be daily location, which will indicate the amount of revenue generated by each location on a daily basis. And then I will create my third materialized view, which will be on the basis of product. It will give me the details that a particular product on a particular day has made this much revenue. Now let's assume that I had created these 3 physical tables. If I wanted to leverage them in my queries, I had to change all my 1000 reports, which is way too much development and testing effort. So instead of doing that, what I've done is I've created these materialized views. So if I have configured my materialized view in a correct manner, next morning when Oracle goes ahead and run these 1000 reports, it will know that the same kind of summary data persists on these 3 materialized view. So though I have not changed my query at all, the optimizer, instead of reading data from the summary table, it will read the data from these materialized view, which is already aggregated at a higher grain, thus improving the performance incredibly without changing the code at all. And guys, don't worry, if this was not clear enough, I'm going to explain this again in detail with a different example in my next tutorial. So query rewrite was one advantage that I gained from materialized view. What is the second advantage? So I have a query which is very complex and takes a lot of time, but is being called on a daily basis multiple times. So rather than creating a view on that particular query and running that time and time again, it makes more sense that I store that particular output at a physical location, and you can create indexes on your materialized view for further faster retrieval, which is a great thing. Now that you have your data stored at a physical location, you can go ahead and create indexes on it, which will further improve your execution time. The third main advantage of materialized view is if you are accessing data that actually resides on a remote database, that particular data retrieval can consume significant network bandwidth and it can be considerably slow. In that case, what you can do is you can create a materialized view of table in your local database, which is also called as the snapshot of the table from a different database, and that particular snapshot can be updated as per the business need or as per the need of your requirement. Now I have mentioned that when we create the data on a materialized view, it's actually stored on a storage disk. We also saw that though we deleted the data from the product tables and ideally it should have given me 0 rows, we were still getting data. This raises an important question that when should we refresh and how we should do it. Should we refresh our materialized view as soon as the data in my source table has changed? What kind of approach should we take? Should we truncate and load our materialized view, or should we opt for an incremental approach? And when exactly should we do the refresh? Should we never do the refresh? Should it be a periodic activity, or should we do it as soon as our source data has changed? So we have quite a few questions and I'm going to add to that so that after you complete this tutorial, you actually think what exactly should be the answer to these questions. My next question is, when I'm doing a truncate and load, which is also known as a complete refresh, if somebody is querying the data at that point of time, what exactly will happen? So I have a query that actually returned millions of rows, and based on that I created a materialized view. Now my source data has changed and I want to refresh my materialized view using complete refresh. That means I'm going to truncate the entire data and load the entire data again. Now 5 of my users at this point of time is querying the materialized view. Obviously loading millions of rows is going to take some time. What exactly is going to happen? Are they going to get an inconsistent state? Are they going to get blank view? What exactly is going to happen? Think about it. The second question is, I was talking about incremental changes for materialized view as well. How does Oracle implements that? Think about it. And I'll give you a quick hint. It actually logs all the changes on the table. But think about it, how exactly that can be implemented. And then I will move to my third question, that when I'm doing a complete refresh, that means I'm deleting the entire data from my materialized view and repopulating it. Would it be easier if I just dropped the view and recreated it? Would it be faster? Just think about it. What exactly should be done? Should we compare, just try to compare complete refresh versus incremental refresh versus drop and create. And the final question that I have is, we have discussed at least a little bit of what is materialized view, what are its advantages. Can you think of any real example in your project where you can go ahead and implement materialized view? If you don't have the answers to any of these questions, don't worry about it. We are going to discuss this in detail in our upcoming tutorials. And please go ahead and do share your feedback. I know that I have a little elaborative style of explaining things, because of which I have lengthy videos. If you don't like that, please go ahead and I will try to change my style. And again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do it now. And thanks a lot guys for your time tonight. Have a good day.